All right, man. Welcome to Missing Conversation. I'm here with my brother Bruce right here, man. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Hey man, thanks for having me, brother. I can't wait for to have this, this conversation, man. This conversation need to be had. So, like I said, I'm humbled, and thanks for having me once again.
Yeah, man. So the title of the video and what we're gonna dive into is faith, loyalty, love. And Bruce and I was having a deep conversation about faith and about, the different avenues of things that men go through, especially black men, and how we don't really have much outlets. We talked about the red pill, the alpha male movement that's on YouTube, and I realized they don't really touch on the topic of what men real life stuff that men go through on a daily basis and how we don't really have people to lean on and outlets that talk about these different situations that men go through. So, Bruce, what you think about the faith aspect of, do you go through times where you question faith, where you question different things that you go through as a man?
Um, for me, it's it's kind of confusing. I mean, it's a great question because I always wonder, like for me, I used to be a person that grew up in the church, right? And they'll always have this teaching about, okay, what's to do when you in certain situations, especially when you talk about like mentioning God in a way, and how they're telling you like what's right and what's wrong, right? And then when you start questioning about the aspect of the religion, like the Bible, like why can't a person who don't have the belief, like who don't have the same belief, like like person has the belief, but why do that person have to get penalized? Even though that person don't do anything wrong in society, the person has a good heart, but that person don't align with any other religion. And so I question that every time, like, why is it that innocent kids, especially the ones that are born before they can even uh navigate life, wind up dying? And why is it that innocent kids wind up you know hungry, being in poor, impoverished situation? And I always question that all the time. Now, I do believe that there is a heaven, and also there is a hell. But I do believe that where we at right now, is hell, because like the amount of stress, the amount of heartache, and the amount of pain that most men have to go through. And so most men are thinking the same way that me and you are thinking. Um, but they just not thinking about that at that moment, because I know certain men's right now that want to be in the best position, you know, in their life, but they just don't have that navigation to get through it. So when people are telling them, "Oh, you just gotta put faith in God, and God will, always have your back," but you doing all the right things in the meantime, and still nothing adds up. So that is one of them, because I don't like the word faith, because I believe if you put faith in something, 9 times out of 10, you putting faith in something will probably let you down, you know? So that's why for me, like, having faith is one thing, but when you live in a reality and nothing is not going your way, then you start to question as a man, like, is this part of life? Like, is this how I have to deal with, me living my rest of the life, just have to just constantly struggle, you know, being stressed out, having, this thought of just ending my life. So those are the things that circulates around a man's mind, and no one, not even the media, talks about that certain aspect of what men have to go through. And I think that for me, this uh, having faith to me is, it's just like, you telling your kid that Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is real. The tooth fairy is real, and then turns out it's not exactly what it turned out to be, from what they're, what people are telling them. So to me, I just believe that, in my belief, that I just, do I believe in faith? The answer is no. And because right now, when you're dealing with, situation that you can't get yourself out of, and you don't have nobody to lean on, and then it keeps on getting worse, then no. I to me, I don't believe in that aspect of, having faith, because for men in general, like, we are wired to this, think, you know we have to think logically about our situation in order for us to survive. So yeah, nah, it's, to me, it's for me, no, I don't believe, faith. In my experience with that, it's going to slow you down. Like, it's going to constantly get you in a dark place where you don't want to put yourself into. And that's why I don't like it. It's especially when people are, have this saying that you never put a faith in, anybody. If someone is telling you X, Y, and Z, and the next time you meet that person and they promise you this and that, and they don't deliver, then it's gonna be a huge disappointment. You'll be disappointed that, because that person didn't keep their word. Or And so that, to me, I don't want to get my hopes up when it comes down to having faith in something that I know for a fact that, in reality, what people are struggling, people are trying to find, and when they're going to have their next meal. Like, for me, nah,
So I
nah,
got
it's just,
I have a question. I have a part two question to that. It's
right.
good to get your insight. So I just wanted you to get your full point across on what you felt about faith. So my
Hmm.
part two question to it is, and I will dive in after you answer this on what my beliefs are with this. Do you have faith in God? Do you believe in higher power?
Yeah, that I do. And it sounds like it's contradicting to what I was saying before, but yes, I do believe that God. I do believe in God. Yeah.
So you
So
have faith in God, but you don't have faith
right,
in man.
exactly. Because yes, because I know for a fact that whenever especially when you have people that you consider your friend or your blood relative, and you thinking that they're your, ride and die, till the end, and then they just, be the ones that let you down the most. So that, yeah, you talk about, mankind. No, I have no faith whatsoever. So it's like, it's something that, um and yeah, it's something that kind of kills us as men, because we don't have each other's best interest when it comes to situation like this. And like, for us, like, me and you just have this conversation, you don't see that, a lot. And so I think that with me just putting my faith into, or put my faith in, or put my trust in someone's hands, that I know that 9 times out of 10 they're gonna let me down, then nah, it's, the only person that you can trust is, is God, because that's the only person that I believe that can answer your prayers. But I do also questioning him as well, because of the situation that goes on in this world. So yeah, yeah, I do believe in a higher power.
Yeah, I could agree with some of your points. Well, we had a deep conversation yesterday, people. We talked about these same topics that we speaking on today. Um, I was telling Bruce that lately my faith has been tested, and a lot of things that I'm questioning with, and explaining to Bruce that honestly I've been struggling mentally because throughout my life, I was brought up to not show no emotions or put things away. The way I look at things in society, people laugh at you when you're going through things as a man. We really don't have any outlets, like I said earlier. We really don't lean on each other the way we supposed to, and you know, me and Bruce and I, became really close because I have experience in different things, and we talked about different things, and we express certain things, and he has expressed his feelings of what he went through in the past, of how people did him as well, and we connected, and I kind of took Bruce under the wing, and he's a very pleasant young guy. He got his head together. He's not out here doing the wrong things. So it's really a pleasure, interacting with Bruce. He listens well. Like I said, he's really a genuine good guy, man. But I just was explaining to him yesterday that I've been struggling, and I realized why I've been struggling is because I've been putting things away my whole life. And when you put things away in your whole life, it becomes a buildup, because as a man you're trained not to show no type of emotions. If you show any
Hmm.
emotion, you're a weak guy. If you cry, you're a weak guy, and that's not the case, because sometimes it's good to let these things out. You can't have a buildup, and conversations like this could help people. It has helped me, it has helped Bruce. I learned different things about him, of certain things that he have went through in his past and his childhood, on why it has affected him now. And a lot of things have affected me as well, and we decided to get on the podcast to talk about this stuff, because a lot of people are afraid to touch this stuff, because I guess as a man, like I said before, you looked at as weak. Um, and it's a sad and unfortunate event when you don't have nobody to lean on, and sometimes you feel like in your mind you're going crazy, like, and all you got is to pray to God, and which I believe in higher power, but also I really don't have no faith in mankind as well. Like, um I feel like we do we are living in hell. I don't know for a fact, because the only way you can know is if you leave here, and from all I know, I haven't left here. I haven't seen anything, but from what I'm seeing on Earth, um, sometimes it makes you question things, man. You know, um,
Yeah, yeah. Like it do. I think with this conversation, like, because you mentioned earlier about like like these content creators on YouTube. like the manosphere and like the red pill community, and how they say the right things about men, the shit issue that men go through, but like they don't dive deep into the mental aspect of why men are going through the stuff that they're going through, and and then 9 times out of 10, majority of men that go to trying to find these answers, what they're typing is they're not typing, mental health. They are typing of why, my ex-wife uh trying to just ruin my life, or why my ex-girlfriend, or why she broke up with me, why, and then so it's based on relationship, but men don't realize that a lot of us, especially the older we get, we gotta get checkup, especially with colon cancer. That's the number one killer of all men. And so people don't realize, so you see, these TV ads that celebrate breast cancer month for women that have breast cancer, but people don't realize that men also suffer the same, you know, disease as women, but we don't get celebrated when it's colon cancer month. So it shows how the world views men, with the toxic masculine, the being toxic
Masculine.
masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feminism.
it. Yeah, it's like we be put into a corner not to say anything. So if we overreact, then we're considered bad guys. So I would love, because I watch from time to time. I watch, you know, their videos, and they do give out good points. But at the same time, though, like when you talk about
They
men,
don't
just
talk about real. Listen,
you're right,
they don't talk about
right.
real life aspects because, like, you could
Hmm.
make six figures, and I've made money. I've had good jobs. I've been successful in different things, but there's a other
Hmm.
side to it. I've also lost a lot of money, through different circumstances of, getting injured from work, you know, being a dad and having to fight for custody of your kids and paying lawyers, and which in these are choices that you make when you make a choice to go to work. That's your choice. You make a decision to have a child. That's your choice. But there's different aspects to life. Like, Bruce doesn't have any kids, but he still go through different things. I mean, you never know. Like
Yeah.
like I told you yesterday, one day we all gonna die. And
Hmm.
you don't know what you're gonna go through. You don't know if you're gonna get sick. You don't know if you're gonna get into a car accident. These are things that that happens. And that's the thing that I was telling you yesterday. They have some good content, and I agree with some of the stuff they speak about, but you got to also speak about real life stuff. And the mental struggling mentally is real amongst our community, and we really don't talk about it. We just
Yeah.
throw it under the rug and say you got to man up and this and that, but you got to remember that there's different circumstances that happen. Like for me, I've lost a lot last year. I've lost, what I'm saying, I'm almost was paralyzed in my back. It's a lot of different things that has happened, but I had some way had to keep pushing forward and still being positive with certain things. And it started to make me question certain things as well. Like, if you remain disciplined in a lot of things you do, why things happen this way. If you pride yourself on doing the right thing, which I do. And Bruce knows he knows me personally. You know what I'm saying? I know him personally. So we pride ourselves on doing the right thing and not being like everybody else. But it's also, it makes you look at like when you're doing these things, it's like, what's the point if you're gonna get the short end of the stick at the end? You know what I'm saying? Moral wise, it's right, but the way how it's constructed, is it really right? Like
Right.
what you know what I'm saying? Like what is the point of different things? Like what is the point of doing right by your brother or being there? And he knows, like, I've been there for a lot of different people. I try to put things together and unify us and doing things for the community. We used to go out and feed the homeless. There was a lot of things that we were doing and that I took pride in because I really genuinely wanted to help people, but it backfired and my heart was in a good place, but it's like the people that I got around me, their heart is not in the same place as mine. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes you question everything. And the mental struggling thing is real. Like, I think all men go through it, but a lot of men are just afraid to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot
I,
of men are afraid to try to lean on each other. Like, how me and Bruce, we go out to eat. We used to go out. I mean, we just started back again. We ain't really been because of COVID and other stuff, but we used to go out to eat and talk about real life things. And I'll ask him how he feels, like what's going on, and and vice versa. He would ask me, and we'll sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we disagree, but it would never be no argument. It'll be just a good conversation. So
right.
go
Right.
ahead. You could chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like, what I'm saying, the thing I was gonna ask you is like, do you believe that like for because for especially for us black men, we us mentally we're if no one talks about it because we black men suffers, you know, like their burden is so heavy, like you cannot explain it to it. I'll say this. Um Majority of men, like especially black men, like their issue when they're dealing with mental health, it boils down to their childhood, like whether they make whether their self esteem was crushed at an early age, like how my self esteem was crushed at an early age, or
Oh, let's dive
the
into that before you continue.
right.
Explain to the people what crushed your self-esteem and your confidence, and why you're dealing
Uh,
with things that you're dealing
oh,
with.
it's still happening right now. Like at right now, I'm like right now at 29. The stuff that I had to go through when I was a pretty much a child. Like I would never wished on my kid if I would ever had a kid. Like my father. Like I said, I love my father to death, but at the same time, we just didn't have that connection because throughout my childhood, he would always you know pretty much crush my confidence, like to a point where my self esteem. I didn't have no like when you speak to me when people give me compliments. I don't take compliments really well because the fact is I'm dealing with something that I've been dealt with since I was a kid. So my father would always talk negative about me, saying that I'm not this or I'm not that, and I would never be this and never be that, and I would always question like why would he say these things, and then I realized as I got older it's because that he didn't had a proper way of when because his father wasn't there in his life, and so he had to learn how to become a man when he first had his child at 18. So he thought that the proper way he knew how to become a man and he knew how to become a father was by just not saying that he shouldn't, my dad shouldn't be, hard on me, but to talk negative of, to hurt my, self-esteem as a kid, that it would, make things better, which it did not. And so right now it's like an ongoing battle with me trying to motivate myself to, saying or stay positive. But how can you stay positive when that wasn't, trained, like pretty much you weren't trained to, become a positive person, in all your life you've been told that you weren't nothing, and like they don't think that you'll become a person that you are right now to be. So that was my, ongoing battle over the years. So my dad, but right now me and him are cool. But it's just when you having that conversation with, whenever I would have that conversation with him, it's like he would try to brush it off, like it never happened. So that pretty much, brought this whole rift between me and him. Like, distant wise, we'll talk, but we never had that father son conversation because it's awkward. Because for years, you be telling me that that I'm a dummy, that I'm retarded, and this, that, and the third. But when I bring that up, in the conversation, it's like a huge argument. Like you trying to proclaim that you never said this, and never said that to me when I was a kid, and I know for a fact that it's a reason why me and you are not that close. Like when it's come down to doing stuff as father and son would do. So like you get it, you understand the vibe of having your son around, like doing stuff with you and your son, like doing yard work or doing mechanic stuff, teaching your son how to do man things. But for me and my father, it's like we just bump heads, like because he see me as somewhat of a failure, but now he's trying to save faith because as he's getting older, he's now telling me that I'm the best kid that he ever had. Granted, because yeah, of
But you're
course,
not a failure, man. That's the
I
whole
mean,
thing that I
well,
try to tell you, man. You're not a failure,
I,
man. You beat the
I
odds with
mean,
a lot of different things, man. You went to college, you take care of yourself, you don't have any kids, you don't do no drugs. There's a
but
lot of
but but
plus a lot of great things that you gotta just put in within yourself, and knowing that, yo, you didn't go down a path, you wasn't into gangs, you never went to jail, you know what I'm saying, you don't do drugs, you don't smoke, you don't drink. So there's a lot of pot. You went to college, you graduated high school. So I go on and on and on, man. You've made
yeah,
something of yourself. I mean, you want more, which we all want more, but take heed and look at what you have done, and knowing that you beat the odds. Like,
but I
you could
know, but
say, you could say as a black man, you never been arrested. That's a beautiful thing, brother. You
yeah,
gotta look at it like
that's
that, man.
yeah, that's come from just being around my parents, like two coming was raising a two-parent household, and I just learned my mistakes from my dad. So I'm glad that I had that opportunity to be around him. But it's just those minor things, the little stuff that kind of that I wish I could just be of a strong of a person that can speak confidently, and just not be shy all the time, and not worried about what people are saying about me and things like that, because that's come from me having low self-esteem, because I never had that in me, like I never you know you know have pump my chest, and because I'm not a person that likes to brag, because I don't like every time they people are saying that I'm doing great things, I just brush it off. I said, I mean, I could do better. I could do certain things
We
better,
all could
but
do better, brother.
yeah.
We
So it's
all
like for
could.
me, it's Yeah, so it's just I know there's guys that's right now that's listening to this podcast that is going through what I'm going through, even if they didn't weren't raised by their father. Like I know they, a lot of men right now that you see out in these streets that are, in and out in jail, and that is, you know, um doing dirt. It's because they don't have they don't have high self-esteem. I mean, they proclaim they have high self-esteem, but deep down mentally, they going through a lot. It's that's part of what we're. I think that's part of a curse for us black men, and so how can we break that cycle? You know, I can me and you can give our pointers, but our most men, or especially us, brothers that is in the community, are we willing to listen? And then that's the problem that we're having, because discussion are this discussion is important to be had, but my main issue with us is from the jump. We want to be the top dog, and we want to let everybody know we're we're the go at this thing, and no other man can be great. Like I don't want to see none of my brothers, you know, have what I have. I want to be the man. Like I want to be the only person that had this. And and then that's the issue that's pretty much being is going on right now in the community. So for me, like I said, I dealt with a lot of self esteem issues, and like for me, it's like, because like I said, the damage that I've been put on, by my father. It's it's something that I wouldn't wish my kid to, or my son, to go through. Like I wouldn't treat my son the way my dad treated me. Never. So it's one of those things that I can't see that, and that's also a primary a prime example of why I don't have kids, is because I don't want to emulate what my dad did to me. So it's part of life, man. But like I said, right now though, I'm just trying to find a happy, what you call it, a happy space, and hopefully I don't you know have those same thoughts. But yeah, but like I said, I'm just a flawed individual. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not going through it, that I'm strong, and no, they'll be shoot. I wish, but
Yeah,
it's just
but
that I just gotta.
see the thing about it is this is a real conversation, and you and
Hmm.
I are very private people, but we felt the need to have this type of conversation so maybe some brothers can see that it's okay to talk about what you're going through. It's okay that you don't put it away, that there are men that care about your mental space. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing,
Hmm.
it's not a bad thing to have these conversations, to open up what you're going through as a man, because like I said, a lot of times with a lot of men, we front, we have ego, we think we better than another man, we laugh at another's man pain, and we think
Yeah, that's
we think it's a joke, but at the end of the day, it's not a joke. We need each other. We already get
yeah,
ridiculed by the media. We already get ridiculed by certain movements, women, feminism, all the stuff that's going on, Me Too, everything that's going on, society, the government. So we need each other to lean on. We got to worry about different things. We got, even in the household, like Bruce, there are things that goes on in the household that affects you as a man. And we taught to be strong. We taught to not to
yeah, not
cry,
to.
but it's okay to shed a tear or two, to let out your frustration, to have these type of conversations, be open and honest, and say, today I'm not really doing well mentally today. You know what I'm saying? How could I help you? What we could do? Maybe we could go out to eat. Maybe we could go play some ball. Maybe we could go to the park, sit on the bench, and talk. This is what brothers need to do instead of the stuff that we're seeing out here with killing each other, with fighting each other, with being ignorant and fighting over territory that's not yours. You don't own this territory. You know what I mean? We better off living together in unity than killing each other. What's good
Right.
that's gonna do for either one of you? One of you gonna end up in jail. One of you gonna end up in the grave, and then the person that killed that person, somebody might kill that person from the other crew. So it's like the same never-ending cycle, and this leads me to my point on we touched on faith, so now it's loyalty. And I feel like there's no loyalty amongst men. This has nothing to do, we're not talking about women. This is about us trying to fix this situation, which I told Bruce last night, man, this is like a situation that we may never be able to fix.
Nah,
But
never, never.
but maybe we could get a couple of brothers come together that feel the same way we feel, and maybe we can mentor some younger boys, because like I said, there's really no outlet for boys. You know, we don't even really have any outlet in the media. It's like, you know, we talk about things, but we don't talk about the things that affects us every day, that may alter our lives. Yeah, six figures, good job, this and that, being in a high certain class to impress women, that don't do it for me. I don't care about all that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, woman isn't the end all be all for me. You know, it's bigger than just being a player, or, you know, I never really had no problem with getting a woman, but that wasn't the biggest issue that I feel like we got to deal with as men. And I think the manosphere don't really touch on this type of stuff, to where your mental space is important. Your mental space.
But can you blame the guys that put up the ministry when
Nah, I don't blame
ninety nine ninety nine
that.
percent of the men that are out here whose their first instinct is to just be with a woman, they got to
I
type in
agree.
how,
I agree.
because they're not gonna touch, because I agree with you, like they should touch on mental health on that aspect. But come on, most men, they come in and once they watch a video, it's about either the girl regrets, doing this and doing that, or how can you better yourself so you can have the like the top quality woman that you want. So that's pretty much what men are searching for. They're not gonna go for how to eat right. Which there are some content creators in the benefit that's telling men to work out, stay in shape, lay off the junk, whatever food that you consume inside your body. There are some men that is talking about that, but most men are just trying to figure out answers of how to get women. That's just it. That's just the bottom line. That's the number one prime, I'll say, reason why men are having mental meltdown, because of certain men never had that experience. So if men can just realize that it's more stuff in life than just trying to um get money and trying to get these women, like, just enjoy life, like just enjoy being around like-minded people, or you know get some fresh air, like go hiking. Or that's something that us as black men, we don't do. Like, we don't go hiking, we don't go hunting, we don't, I mean, we do fish, but the other aspect that just take a week or two off of dealing with people and just have a peace of mind. because I think that's what we need,
Oh, we
to move
lacking that
forward.
heavy, man. We lacking the peace of
Yeah,
mind. Even
yeah,
from
we are.
from a child, like how you just explained it, growing up,
Yeah.
it's really no
Hmm.
peace. And if you grow up
It's
in certain neighborhoods and you got to move a certain way, it's really no peace for you. You know, you have to adapt to your surroundings. It's like a lion. If you don't adapt,
right,
then you're gonna be prey. You're gonna be a zebra or a deer. So you have to adapt,
right.
and you have to find your peace. And it's hard. It's hard finding peace. But once you get
Yeah,
it, like you said, you gotta, find different ways or avenues to do things to find some type of peace. Maybe go travel, maybe go fishing, maybe go, go for a walk or exercise. Things to just get
yes,
your mind off things and to keep active, because like when you live in stress or you stay sucked in that, it'll kill you. It'll drive you
right.
crazy. So
I
you
think
need you need different outlets. You definitely do.
yeah, I think for the most part, most like, you see other community of men are doing this, but it just for us, we are so stuck in this one space that we think that this spot that we in is the only spot that we can go to, whereas there's other avenues, there's other places, there's other, cities, countries that we can, go to and just learn from different cultures. You know, you don't have to stay in one setting in one neighborhood or one block, and you think that this is life, because I bet I guarantee there's a lot of men that never been to downtown of their own city, or even left their city, to say the least. So it's like there's so many great things out there that can, help, men, not because that's the only way that men can, avoid all the mental breakdown that they're going through. It just, just travel the world, just have your passport and travel, and just have fun,
So I
and
got
then
a
and
question.
then
After you finish your point, I got a question.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish your point. What you saying about
Yeah, yeah,
traveling
yeah,
and
yeah. Traveling and like I said, hunting and uh, just meeting new people. You don't have to, but the problem is for us, because once I say that for us black men, like the ones that have no criminal record, that's went through law school or medical school, and I think that's what kind of makes it crazy too, because most men that are, I think most men, I don't know, because it's hard to explain, but that's besides the point. But yeah, like I said, yeah, we just gotta, and we gotta, separate ourselves from the bad, because when they're just put us in a bad light, saying that black men is this and black men is that, and you know, black men, they're not, taking up their responsibility of taking care of their offspring. They putting, all the good men, all the good black men into the same category as the ones that are um, always in and out in prison or in and out in jail, that's committing, felonies, crimes, you name it. So I think we got to separate ourselves from these type of groups, and just, create our own lane.
we
So
have
yeah, man, that
me and you, we
I
have
mean,
created our own lane. We don't have criminal records. I take care of my
but
kids. So,
but that's not
to
what was
answer,
glorified though. That's the thing. That's not what
it's
glorified in the
not, but
community. And
we this is why we doing this podcast, because we talking about things that really they don't talk about. So we have to do the work on the the guys that's actually wanting to be good guys, wanting to not have violence amongst their people in the communities, changing the narrative. We have to change the narrative. You know, if we continue to just sit back and not say nothing and not have these conversations, see, we could have this conversation, right? Like we did last night and not put it out here. But I decided, I said, you know, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the faith. And it leads me to my question about the loyalty. Like I brought it up. This is the next phase. Do you feel like we have loyalty amongst black men with amongst each other? Do you think there's loyalty there?
No, that's just to answer your question. No, because I dealt with a lot of black men that I thought, people that I thought were my friend, like men, black men in general. Like I'm more closer to non um black into non-black. I'm more friends with non-black folks than black folks. Like let's especially men, black men, because the way I see it is, I'll go out of my way and help a fellow black man, but in the return, like you were saying before, then like it want to backfire. So no, like I seen that's how I lose. I mean, I lost so many friends because I just couldn't trust them. I couldn't trust that they will be there for me when times are tough. Um, Especially if you're going through a breakup. Let alone they give out bad advice unless they are trying to sabotage you or and or trying to be the next man up to trying to be with that significant other that you done in the relationship with. So no, like I think black men in general, because we're so brainwashed to believe that because our fathers were majority of them that grew up without fathers, they believe that, oh, because my father wasn't there, now I hold this huge anger, this grudge against him because he wasn't there, because he only heard one side of the story, is because now it's every man for himself. Like it's a dog eat dog world out there. So that's why you see so many violence amongst us in the community, because we weren't um thought to love one another. So whenever I'm around a group of guys that especially black men that has, like, I don't want to become stereotypical because I'm a black man myself, but when you around a group of guys with that's has, they pants below their waist, you know, bumping loud music while you at a gas station, and you know, tatted up, for me as a black man, I fear for my life. Like it's just sad to say, but I mean, I love my peoples, but when you see on the news an innocent bystanders, getting robbed or getting murdered, especially a guy that looked just like was the same color as my skin, like yeah, I just hurry up and just leave, because I know that's the stereotype that I see on a daily basis, and I used to stay in neighborhood that were bad. Um, before we move into a nice predominant neighborhood. So no, there's no loyalty, because we rob, we steal, we also sleep with either our girl or our wife, and we don't apologize. So we do a lot of dirt amongst each other as men, and so that's why when with situations like this, when they see a black celebrity slap another black celebrity in a huge televised award show, they laugh about it. Like they say that, oh, that person should have gotten violence with that person, or if I was that person, I wouldn't let him do that to me. So us as black men, we don't know how to like deal with situations to not make the situation escalate. So yeah, man, I don't see no loyalty amongst us until we settle down and we come together and have this discussion about, man, you know what, this is stupid, like we doing this for nothing, like our women is looking at us crazy, when we don't when we don't even respect each other. So if they don't see us respecting each other, then what make them respect?
I can't hear you, Bruce. I ain't hear you. What you say?
One of my AirPods battery low, so I
Oh,
gotta
okay.
I gotta recharge.
I hear you now. You say you got one side of the AirPod.
Things. But no, yeah, it's just one of those things that you just have to as a black man, you just gotta fight through it, like together and create create enough.
Can't hear you.
Oh
Say something.
yeah,
I
can you
ain't,
hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah. I got to charge my AirPods, but yeah. So yeah, man, it's just one of those things that I just believe that, yeah, until we stop killing each other at a higher rate, we start respecting our each other's mental health. No, I don't trust them. I don't trust us. Getting everything together, and then it's still gonna be a repeated cycle, because we weren't taught how to respect one another. And then that's why it's important to have strong family structure in the community. But without that, you see nothing but chaos, nothing but lost soul out on these streets. So it's just
But
why
how
for me. Go
but
ahead.
how can you have strong family structure when your family is supposed to be your first protection and they don't protect you?
Yeah, that's true.
What do you do then?
And like that is a great question, because for me, from a person that grew up in the two family household, like both my mom and my dad are still married till this day. Um, because I could only speak for me, for a person that was raised by two parents. But for a kid, for a person, or a boy to not have a father in his life, you know, it's to me it's tough. Like, because the number one, his first teaching should be his family, like whoever at the household that is there to protect them. But 9 times out of 10, these kids are not protected properly.
No, they're
Some.
not. They're not.
Right, right. So black boys, like we talk about how black girls are being mistreated, but we never talk about how black boys are being mistreated in these households. And so it just go under the radar. So it's like people don't give a crap about black boys, um, how they are dealing with situations on a daily basis. And I think that's what brings back to you mentioned about faith in that way, like, do these little black boys have faith in whether or not they could get their, whatever tough situation that they're in, that their parents put them in, will they find a better, better life than what the cards that they're dealing with, dealt with. So, like I said, it's, to me, it's just sad that to see that, for one, I don't see no loyalty, because I helped a lot of friends that were former friends that I thought were my friends, and then they just left me there to just be on my own. And so it's
So
like, go ahead.
so what do you say about loyalty in your family? Has there been loyalty with your family towards you?
Mm, well, with like the ones that's closer, yes, but as far as family members, no,
In
because
totality, I'm saying like all around. Do you feel like there's loyalty and honor amongst your family? Do you
no,
feel
no, no, not in my family, no, no.
no?
Why? No, because I know certain family members right now, that pretty much trying to end both of my parents' life. So I grew up in a Caribbean background household, and that's something that my culture never talks about, because they always praise that, our culture, because we were the first, black, country to have our independence, but they don't touch on the stuff that we do amongst each other. Like, for instance, voodoo. Like, voodoo is a very powerful weapon, and
Tell them what your
that's
background is, because you
oh
didn't say it.
yeah, I grew up in a Haitian background. Like, both of my parents are from, Haiti. They came. My dad came via, through the boat. You know how Caribbeans, how the guess how every Caribbeans got to the Jamaicans, Haitians, they got through the boat. So, um
Yeah.
yeah, but, you know mm, I know a lot of, to this day, I don't trust. Like, I don't trust my family members. Like, it's a huge family, but I don't trust them because of the stuff that they try to do to my both of my parents, which is using this powerful weapon that can, in seconds, just kill you. And then when, the doctor, when they take you to the hospital, the doctor can't find nothing wrong with
So
that
you believe in
person.
all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I do. I do believe in that whole, supernatural voodoo, you name it, because that's what's killing our my people. And like, for me, I'm on the opposite. The way we people talk about how blacks in America need to do better, you know, people around, like, other blacks that come from different countries, they know better too. Even though their structure is better, like, they have like a structure that they gotta abide by, like their tradition, but the way they treat each other too, like, they know different than, the blacks that's in the United States. So no, I don't have no faith that I don't have no like, I can't trust them at all, because I know there's a lot of them trying to, um they're jealous of the fact that, my mother's doing well, and my father as well. The fact that he did a great job of raising my family, and he knows exactly what's going on. Like, that's why I love about my dad, because he knows exactly what's going on, because of he knew who he knows who's trying to kill them, and who's trying to who's behind this whole idea of we gotta go to a voodoo priest and cast a spell on them. And yeah, man, it's terrible. So
Yeah.
it's like for me, I just my dad always preached that you gotta help others, and I got a good heart, but I don't want to put myself out there to be killed, because that's how my both of my uncles died, via someone casting, a evil spirit on spell on them, because because it's money related. When money comes involved, they'll find a way to kill you. You know, you see that too in the black community too. When once you made it out of the hood, you know, you successful, and then look what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle,
What happened to
um,
a lot of rappers and people
rappers, right? Is
in
and
general. Like
mm-hmm,
you have some people that's just jealous and envious of you, man. And
yeah,
sometimes these people can be right in your circle and you don't even know it. And they could be wishing you bad. They could be trying to put that negative energy on you when they come around. They pretending to be like they love you, but realistically, they want you to lose everything. They want you to be under them. So I believe I believe there's really no loyalty out here as well. But I believe that from different reasons for me. Uh like I said, your family and your friends are supposed to be your first protection, right? And a
mm-hmm,
lot of times your family and your friends are the first people to hurt you. Nine
yes,
times out
yes,
of ten, those
yes,
that's gonna be your first hurt. And
mm-hmm,
your hurdle has to, overcome these things. And, honestly, you either born with a good heart or it just it's not in you. And
yeah,
sometimes people with the good hearts, they get hurt the most because you want to do good, you want to care, you want to love, you want to help, but
and
it's
you want to
like
see everyone, right? You want to see everyone do well, yeah,
you want to see everybody prosper. You want to see,
mm-hmm,
like I told you, I make $1 million. I don't just want to be the only one making $1 million. I want people
mm-hmm,
around me to make $1 million. I want us to have our own community, own school, own this. But the destruction is so heavy in our communities that it's chaotic, it's dysfunctional, and it all starts in the household. You got all these toxic behaviors that we deemed as normal when it's not
mm-hmm,
really normal. So
right,
right there, the loyalty is broken. Cause once you leave out of your community and once you leave out of your household and you see that there's no loyalty, then how can you be loyal and how can you expect loyalty from somebody that comes from a broken home, somebody that's all they see is chaos, all they see is
yeah,
dysfunction. It's like, yo, I'm gonna rob you to get what I need instead of asking, yo, could I get some because I'm hungry? But they'll rather rob you, kill you, take what you got and what you earn, and then use it for what they want, but not
yeah,
realizing, you could have handled that another way. You could have broke the cycle. You could have, like my father wasn't there for me as well. Like, but I'm never gonna talk bad about my father because my father played a huge role in me being here. Without my father, I wouldn't be here. So I've forgiven him for a lot of the stuff that he has done. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace to my dad. But a lot of things that he has done has made me a better man. And a lot of my traits come from my grandfather. And my father actually came from a good home, two-parent home, loving home. My
mm-hmm,
grandfather is one of the greatest men I ever met in my life. And he wasn't no superstar celebrity, but to me, he was like Superman. He was Batman. He was just like, man, he's just unexplainable. Every time I talk about him, I smile because he's one of the
yeah,
best men I ever met. Like I
right,
appreciate him in teaching me certain things. And a lot of my traits come from him because he's a family man. He was there for his kids. He never cheated on my grandmother. He never hit my grandmother, but he did, you know, check my grandmother for certain things and saying, I'm a man, you gotta respect me. and he demanded respect. He was quiet, laid back, but he was a super dude. But with that, like I was saying before, like the loyalty comes from your household first. And if there's no loyalty in your household, this is where the chaos begins. And we found out that by, connecting with individuals, and these individuals had ulterior motives. It wasn't on the
Yeah.
same page. So,
which is which is
which is
like which
sad,
is yeah,
very
because
sad.
because I remember when you had that first platform on podcast with these four gentlemen. It was just wonderful, and to see one mishap, to just destroy
But it
the whole
was bigger than
moment.
it was
Right.
bigger than the platform, because we went
Yeah.
out, fed the homeless. We used to go out and
And
eat together.
eat
We used to
together
do
and
things together. We used to go in the
and
community together. We used to go
yeah, I
bowling,
remember that. Yep.
these different things. So it was kind of like we were starting a brotherhood, but the
Right.
brotherhood didn't really last too long. And even
And
I
then
had
that's the
my
point.
kids. My kids was involved in that. I had my kids
Right.
being out
And
there with us, feeding the homeless, recording the podcast as well.
and
It wasn't really up to par with the clarity like I have now. I have
right.
all the top notch equipment now, but when I was starting out, I had to take baby steps, so
Yeah.
I was just trying to get the message out there, trying to build and bring brothers together, trying to showcase fathers. That's another thing that we don't really showcase. Just showcase good men like yourself, myself, that are doing positive things and not destroying the communities.
Yeah. But it's not being praised though, because only thing that sells is negativity. Negativity sells, not no positivity. They ain't gonna put you on any talk show, um talk be a host on a talk show, day show, just to speak on this topic, because that's not what sells. Like, and if it's not no drama, then no one is not going to look at or even listen to what you got to say, unless you cussing out. They want to see me and you argue back and forth, about nonsense. And I see that all the time when I be on YouTube, and it just be grown men, just constantly just mess with each other for no reason, because they get a kick out of it. And then it, to me, is what is it's the downfall of us as black men. Like,
True.
we see, like, we constantly get a kick out of seeing put each other down, not knowing that we could have been a potential business partner. We could have potentially changed the whole narrative of how the whole world perceived us. But like I said, just they don't care, and they don't believe in loyalty. It's every man for himself, and so that's what I be seeing on these platforms. And it's not enough men coming together and say, okay, we may disagree on certain things, but all of us do agree on this part. So let's focus on what we agree on, so that we can move forward. And that's not a lot of. And then you see it on clips on Clubhouse, grown ass men that is in their 50s, throwing each other, still still trying to become that younger version of themselves, back in the day, still shouting out, what game they rep. And then it's just like, this is why most young black men don't take us, seriously, when they see us just arguing back and forth at each other,
and we're acting like a bunch of kids. So how can these black boys look up to us when us as grown men don't even respect each other? So they're not gonna respect us because we don't even respect one another. We don't have no type of loyalty. We don't have no type of um, middle ground to where we can just come together and drop down some ideas that can you know make everything, change the whole landscape of, or change the whole narrative of how you know people perceive us. But we just worrying about the wrong thing. We worrying about chasing women, chasing money, um, doing all this. We claim that we're giving back to the community, but we're not. So it's just to me, it's kind of what I dealt with over the years with certain people in our group. Remember, we had certain groups, that some group of guys that were way older than us, and we looked up to them, and then they let us down. They let us down, and they show their true colors, and that's what kind of because, and I was looking forward to having them teaching me certain things that I wanted to know, like how to get to get to where they went through. Like I want to do just that, but it's just that right there is why the disconnect between older men and younger men, and why they don't see eye to eye. And that's why, like I said, when it comes to loyalty, uh, we, like I said, we it's the same thing with, like I said, with the when you first did the podcast with the low quality camera, and every before you got all of the equipment, you thought you had the loyalty there, and then when like certain guys, like certain people that you rock with for years, they had your back. But the certain other groups of men, you think that y'all were on same page, and you guys had this down pack. But when time for everyone to just come together and then try to do this and try to do that, it was always about, okay, when I'm going to get paid, or when this going to pop off the ground. And so we got to get out of that mindset, you know. So that's the thing. Yeah, I just, like I said, I just know that hopefully, because I don't believe. Because do you believe that in the state that we're in, like the the community that we, like, with um black folks, do you see any changes coming, moving forward, whereas we all come together and we start to build something? Because I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Like, I don't see us moving forward, having everything together, having our stuff together, and having us as black men lead. Because I'm seeing all the other good quality black men leaving the community because of what is going on, because they don't have faith in blacks, in what the black structure is being done in the black community. Because a lot of black men don't have faith in what's going on. That's why you see a lot of black men go outside. They are outside of way their race, or start family outside their race. It's because of the dysfunction that's going on in the community. So, like I said, also faith goes goes part into the structure. Like, most men would want to build a strong foundation, but they just don't have faith, because it's already been done. Like, the damage has already been done since back when the civil rights era.
In the time, you mean?
Yeah.
Since the
So
beginning of time, this has been going on. So
right. So, like, there's no faith in what is going on in the community. Like, because I don't see it. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Like the like
we
the
only
average net.
we only could do our part, you know.
Right, but mm-hmm.
That's all you
But
can
that's,
do.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And so, it's scary that, because I read this article about the amount of wealth among us black folks gonna turn will become zero by the year 2050. So we pretty much we will our network, pretty much our whole worth will be zero, because, like I said, look at how the structure is being run in these homes. There's not a man around to lead. So, we would want to blame the men, but how can you blame the men that is not there, when the
But look,
you
but
know
look, but look at how society's constructed. We're like they're trying to eliminate um they try not even eliminate, they're trying to emasculate the men.
yeah,
It's like
yes,
you're not
hmm,
supposed to be masculine. You're supposed to take any kind of disrespect. So we deal with that from the outside world. We deal with that when we go to work. Look at what we dealt with when we work together with certain things of favoritism, of people doing things and getting away with it, but you couldn't get away with it. So you deal
yeah,
with all of this type of stuff, then you deal with it at home as well. Then when you go to the store, you deal with it. Then when you're dealing with a woman or some, not all, I'm not gonna say all women because women gonna get mad, but when you deal with a
right,
lot of these women, it's like they want to try to emasculate you. And then it's
yeah,
like when you stand up for yourself and say, "Oh, wait a minute, hey," then you like you're a whatever you misogynistic
yeah,
or whatever
massage,
you go,
yeah, yeah,
misog,
massage,
yeah. So
yeah,
so it's like you can't win, and like you said, what where is this gonna go? How is the dynamic gonna change? What is this gonna be for our children, our young boys coming up? Or are we gonna continue the same cycle that's broken, that's not even helping the communities, that's destroying our communities? We don't come together to where we can build things, and instead of we allow the communities get destroyed by these gangs. And I'm not going to sit here and say I was a guy that was always calm. Sometimes growing up in certain situations and make you aggressive to where you got to defend yourself. Even Bruce might say he's scared,
uh,
but you get on the other side, Bruce will bust you upside the head too, man.
yeah, yeah. You see me how yeah, you see me
So
how these moments, yeah,
yeah, so we all have our moments, even the calmest people that you might deem as a punk. Those be the people that you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So we got to just come together, and I don't see all of us coming together. I might see maybe a couple of us like me and you, or maybe a couple of guys might mesh. We never know what can happen down.
right, right, like-minded people, right, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
like-minded. You got to have like-minded people around you, because if you're dealing with people that's not like-minded, you're gonna clash with them people, because what they think, that's all they know. They're not gonna listen to what you're telling them. They're not gonna be open minded to what you're telling them. And I told you this last night. 98% of people, and this is a fact. This is not an opinion.
oh yeah,
90,
narcissist,
not
yep,
98%. I'm not even going to go to the narcissist, but that's another thing. But 98% of people, not just men, are followers. And
yeah,
they do the same things. They
mm,
talk the same. They look the same. They follow the same trends. And they'll come back and tell you, well, I did this because I wanted to do that. But that's not the truth. See, we beat the odds, especially me. Like, I'm totally different. I don't follow whatever is going on. I don't think how everyone thinks. And I guess that's why a lot of times maybe I end up with being on the short end of the stick, because my mind is not like everybody else. And
I,
it's on. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, because I think like not to cut you off, but I think that was part of why you see most men don't have faith in just doing good half the time. Like most men, what they see that is popular, they follow that trend. Like if they see a celebrity wearing this type of clothes or saying these type of slogan in a song, then they go with it. So it's like, what is the most popular trend for a guy to imitate? You know, and you see a lot of guys, and then that it goes, especially the younger ones. You know, if this what fits is this what sticks, then I'm going to gravitate towards that. You know, there's no sense of just being yourself. I think that's what a
It's
lot
for
of men are struggling.
individuality.
Right. I think that's what a lot of men are struggling because, like I said, I don't want to mention about women into your podcast, but it plays a huge role because because I was that kid, like growing up, trying to figure out pickup lines and doing all of that because we weren't thinking about no mental health back then because we were thinking about, okay, I like this girl, she's beautiful, yada yada yada. How, okay, what can I do? Like, what clothes do I need to wear? Like, how I walk, how I talk. And that's what a lot of these boys are struggling right nowadays. So a lot of these boys right now, they're out there just trying to outdo each other, and that's where I say I have no loyalty. When women come be involved in male space, bro, all that stuff that we were talking about, oh, we need to stick together, we need to do this, we need that. As soon as a beautiful woman come into play, oh, all that stuff that we were saying earlier go out the window. So how can you put faith in mankind when they gonna be the ones that's trying to hurt you the most, trying to get at you, so that in hopes of potentially sleep with that woman. So it's like that's where my problem lies on, especially black men, because we do it the worst. We are the, like, man, when you talk, bro, anything, we'll have sex with anything that moves, and that is our problem. We don't know how to protect our libido. We don't know how to have discipline. And we lack that thereof. We lack discipline. It's
I
like,
could agree with that. We do lack discipline because
yeah, and
it's
I
a
think we
lot.
like,
It's a lot to be disciplined in, and we
hmm
do lack it. Sometimes you do get lost in certain things, but when it comes
hmm
down to discipline and living and honoring certain things and knowing not to do drugs and knowing not to do certain things and always trying to do the right thing, we do
yeah,
lack that. I could agree
yeah,
with
like, yeah, like the peer pressure is a hell of a drug. Like for your father, I bet you your father could have been a potential great father, but he been peer pressured to believe that it's not cool to become a upstanding
that.
citizen.
Yo, let me tell you something about my father, man, that I didn't
Hmm
tell you. This man was like one of the smartest men ever. Like he won man of the year uh in high school. He went to college. He had a
hmm
great job, but I just think he didn't I think like you said, I think he may have felt fallen into like what was going on in society with different things.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah,
put my father out there, but he was into things that he shouldn't have been in, and I think that caused him not to be the father that he could have been.
right. Because I think your father could have, because your father, I could tell that your father was a great man. It's just
Nah,
the
he was. He
people.
had some great. He had some. He accomplished a lot. He
Mm,
wasn't like a guy that he didn't make something of himself. He did.
right.
He
Because
just he just
is
wasn't honorable in honoring his children and
right,
being there
right.
for his children.
He fell into in that trap. I think that's what most men, and you, and in the pandemic too. But the whole, I know there was a segment. and it happened in '86 in New Jersey. I think you know about that. About they did an interview of these teenage moms, black mothers back in the day, and it was in New Jersey. So you're not too far. You're not too far from where that. And it was just boggling of how that's how the cycle started from just that interview itself. It started the repeating cycle. So the people, the kids that was born in that era, that you know you see why the way it is now, the society, the community, um, and how it's not organized at all. And then look at the BLM, thing. I wasn't surprised about that either. And that's the thing, their thesis statement talking about, their whole purpose was to destroy the family. But the family was the whole black family dynamic was already been destroyed.
No, that's been destroyed for years,
Right,
brother.
right, years. So it
Yeah.
wasn't a right. So how can a black man or a black man put faith in that? When there's no structure, there's no white picket fence.
There is.
There's no.
It's it's
So it's
it's
like,
a, it's a it's a battle, and
mm-hmm,
I've been battling with that because I've always wanted to be just with one woman. I wanted a family. I wanted to break the chains into different things, in which in some aspects I did break the chain, but not like how I wanted it to be. Like I didn't want to raise children by myself. Um, I didn't want it to be a battle with different things of different women that I've been with and battling and not and trying to make them understand like we got to break this chain. We got to do things differently. We shouldn't do how everyone else is doing. We have to do
mm,
things differently and for the betterment of the family, for the betterment of the children, because it's going to be a continuous cycle that repeats itself over and over. And these children coming up is going to think that that how society is constructed is the way to go, and it's not the way to go. It's only destroying the communities. You see these kids killing these each other at astronomical rates. It's like at an all-time high, violence all over the communities.
but
And
we
what's
never talk
actually
about
yeah, we
it. Yeah.
never talk about it because like that leads me into the next point because the title of the video is Faith, Loyalty, and Love. This is a great segue. The love is not there. The love and love is important. To love each other is to want each other to grow. It's to want each other to live. It's to want each other to be better and be unified and sticking together. There's no love there. It's like how could you hate somebody that's your same skin color or your neighbor or somebody you went to school with? It's just because you guys went into different gangs, now you hate each other because of the gang. It's like, where's the love at? Where we used to play ball together, or we used to go to the store, or we used to spend the night at each other's houses. And it's like some of these guys are even family members, and because they join different gangs, they hate each other. And it's like, yo, you my bloodline. Like the bloodline is bigger than the gang. The unity is bigger than the gang. You know what I'm saying? And um, I think a lot of these things are sending the wrong messages. And who's there to save your son? Who's there to pull him out? I know for me, I've been a heavy influence in my son and my daughter's life, and especially my son. You know, he's a great kid. He doesn't get involved in different things, and that's because of my teachings and me being
Yeah.
a heavy influence. I've never called him a name. I don't cuss at my kids. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I've always tried to teach them that, this is how you speak, this is how you present yourself. The love, the togetherness, the caring for one another. I think that's missing. So there's a
A
lack
lot.
of love, and
Yeah, a
there's
lot.
nobody talking about what we're talking about. We need like a whole panel to talk about this type of stuff, and we need kids that are babies 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old to look at this and say, okay, these brothers are talking about something different. We're not on the TV talking about selling crack and shooting each other, or talking about WAP, or talking about twerking, or who have the biggest butt or the breasts. It's like it's bigger than that. And what are we showing our kids? You know,
Same thing.
it's the
Yeah.
same
That's,
thing over and over. So there's no love there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I titled this video "Faith, Loyalty, and Love," because those are the three elements that are important in life, and those are the things that are missing, man. There's
yeah,
no
a lot.
there's no love there.
They like they're. I mean, a lot of us grew up. A lot of black kids. Because the reason why I'm saying black kids, because we that's who's hurting the most out of all the communities. So I can't speak for other communities, but the black community
I think
itself.
I think I think out of the whole community, you know who I think is hurting the most, and I'm not trying to make it a comparison, but little girls and women have always had more outlets than black boys and men. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying they shouldn't have outlets. They should, right? Because they go through things too. They should have outlets, but we should have outlets as well. We should have people caring about us, because there are black boys that are getting raped in households. There are
Hmm.
black boys that are getting mistreated, like you just said, name calling, bullying, forced to be in gangs, forced to sell drugs. There are
To help
different
out, right?
scenarios
Or,
that
or,
we
or
don't
play a
talk about.
sport.
Yeah, we don't talk about this stuff. So, it has to be talked about more often. There should be more outlets. And Bruce knows I've tried to do different things, and maybe I need to try a little harder and get back out here and doing different things. But it's been tough, especially when it comes to us. If I was doing something for women, it wouldn't be as hard. You know what I mean? People would be, hey,
Right.
well, because I'm trying to when I call it the Black Man United, it was like, why are you calling it Black Man United? Why can't it be everybody united? And I'm like, you see
Yeah.
what's going out here. You see,
Right.
you
Yep.
see, you see what's going out here. I'm trying to
Hmm.
change the dynamics. I'm trying to get, man. I even I try to get 100 men to unite and try to bring their families, and I was trying to get to that point, but it was
Because
a
I already,
fight. It was a fight, man.
it was a fight amongst resource. It had led to just resources. Like, when do I get paid? It wasn't a, okay. I know I'm not gonna see a penny, but I'm doing it for a good cause. Like, they saw it. They saw it as, oh, it's time for me to get paid. So that's what I was kind of disappointed in, um that organization that you were trying to build, because it was really a great
It was a great
organization.
idea, and I and
It
I
was a great
still
idea,
I
exactly.
still got it. And maybe when I get a certain amount of money, maybe I might try it again. But
Yeah,
just just
you know,
just to do it now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it now, because I got
yeah,
other things
right,
I don't want to do. And even with that, like with that whole situation, I had a lot of great feedback from young guys like Bruce. I had some other guys from New York, some guys from Massachusetts that checked it out and was loving it, and kind of gave me the push to be like, yo, keep doing it. But then I also had the negative comments of from brothers saying, yo, why you can't include women, or why you can't include everybody. And everybody's not the problem. We got to fix
right,
our problem.
yeah,
Women can't fix the problems that we have amongst each other. We got to fix that. So that's why I
And
was trying. I'm not saying like Bruce said earlier. Nobody's saying that women aren't important. Nobody's saying that, right? But we trying to tell you that men are just as important as women. And
mm-hmm.
if we don't fix the community within our own community amongst men, how are we gonna what change is gonna transpire from it? Because we're the ones that build the communities. If there are no men's trying to change the community or trying to fix the community is gonna stay in chaos. And
Yep.
there's never gonna be no love there. So that's why I said we gotta fix it. We can't put this, say women gotta fix this. No, men gotta fix this. Men gotta protect their seeds. Men gotta teach their sons how it is to be a man. A woman can never teach a man to be a man. Woman can never do that. My mother couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Other people, other my uncles taught me to be a man. My godfather, my grandfather, these different men taught me that, and still, I needed that from my father. My father was a missing element that couldn't be replaced, and that's what the problem is in today's society. People trying to replace men and saying you don't need a man, but you do. We need each other. We can't build the communities without each other and without a man. A man is the one to build the communities. A man is the one to lead the communities. A man is the one to spark change in the community. So if we don't have that, what we gonna have? What we having now? Murders as an astronomical rate, killing each other, uh, drug infested neighborhood. I looked at the numbers with the Percocets, with all the opioids and the lean and all of that. It's at an astronomical number because these
Mm-hmm.
boys and men are trying to numb the pain that they're going through. See the
Right.
pain,
Yep.
they showing that they in pain. They showing it. But we not looking and saying, damn, why are they doing drugs? Or why they drinking? Or why they trying to get
They're
away
crying
from
out for help.
they crying
Yeah,
out
they
for
crying.
help. Exactly.
They're just crying out for help, man. And then the only way they can express their feelings is through being not sober and just being drunk and to just like I said, just numb, like you said, to numb the pain. And
The
they
pain
don't have
of
no outlet.
mental
They,
struggle.
you know what? I'm glad that me and you have this conversation because there needs to be a conversation like this for men to just openly say, what they feel because a lot of these men, especially, these athletes, these rappers, especially these rappers, you know, they're hurting inside. Like the only way they can deal with hurt is, this you just abusing, using and just drinking, smoking, using all types of drugs, and and
And none of that stuff takes away the pain.
it
None of
doesn't.
it does. That's
It
why I
doesn't.
never lean towards drugs. That's why I don't drink, I don't smoke because none of that takes away the pain. The pain is still gonna be there after you do what you do, right?
Hmm. Yep.
My advice is writing. I write poetry, and even with that, right, it's a positive vice. But after them few minutes of writing a piece, a spoken word piece, the pain is still there, and you still got to deal with it. You got to find some way to deal with the pain of getting through certain situations. And I'm at
I
a
think there.
point. I'm
I
at a
think
point.
therapy have.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, my bad for cutting you off. I think therapy is the best gateway for us to handle our pain, our
I mean,
sorrow.
with therapy though, um, for
I
me,
mean,
for
it's a
me,
hit or miss.
it has to be somebody that understands my plight or somebody that understands what I'm going through as a man that has something similar, some similar similarities. Instead of talking to somebody that might not come from our background, that might just be like, oh, just telling you just telling you stuff, and not really looking inside and saying, you know what, I understand this man's plight because I once went through some of the stuff he went through. Because like therapy, you're right, it's hit or miss. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people. It may
Right.
work for some people, but then like this is why I don't really talk to people because I hate when I'm talking to somebody and they acting like they understand, but really they don't understand. They just telling you
It they
they understand
right.
and
Yeah.
they don't have no type of empathy, you know? And it's
And
tough. It's tough.
yeah, just
For me, I have empathized with various different situations because I understand and I went through different things. So I can empathize and understand that um there's certain things that women are just not gonna understand from a man's point of view. Um and we should be able to understand each other, right?
Hmm.
Even if you're not going through the same thing I'm going through and you come to me and say, um, yo, I'm mentally struggling. I need somebody to talk to. I should be able to allow you to tell me what you're mentally struggling with and not judge you. But instead, right, what we get, a lot of men laugh at you, just like they laughed at
Right.
Chris Rock for getting slapped, which he handled it the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I may not have handled it like that, but he handled it the right way. He
But that's how most black men should handle the situation, like how Chris Rock handled the situation.
but Bruce,
Because
man, let's be honest, man. I don't even think if somebody would have slapped you, I don't think you would have stood there too, man. I
the N word side, yes, but as how but how but how society is portraying us, we don't want to
you
constantly
right.
give
You don't want to
constantly give
constantly
what be,
give them
yeah
that perception of
that
us.
that percent yeah, yeah. So I think what Chris Rock did was
Yeah, he handled it like
tremendously
a G, man. He handled
like a
it
G,
like a
like
gentleman, man. He did a gentleman thing. He didn't press charges.
hmm
He did a
like, and then
gentleman
that's what
thing.
right. So it's like that's how most people with the common sense would handle situation like that. What like and then but we don't do that because we're surrounded by violence. So all we know is violence. So like
Right,
we
that's
don't
why
we
I
don't.
told you that lion mentality, man. It's either you
Hmm.
gonna be a lion or you gonna be the prey, b. So
Yeah, man.
that's how you when
Yeah,
you
but that's
grow up in a certain environment, that's why you got to get up out of that environment. That's why you gotta when you have children, not make it to them not being and growing up in that type of environment, having them in a good environment to where they don't got to worry about all the stuff that they should be worried about. Because no kid should be worrying about walking to school and maybe getting shot, or walking to
hmm
school and seeing people selling drugs, or walking to school and seeing people on the street selling themselves and all of this, or crack vials on the floor, or guns or metal detectors. These are things, man, you look at and it's like, man, a kid ain't supposed to be going through all of this. And that's
yeah,
chaotic within itself. That's dysfunction. And we
and yeah,
normalize all of that stuff. We normalize it. And there, like I said, there's no love. That's how I feel
no
about
love at
it.
it.
I know it's sad to say, but love is missing. Person to tell you they love you all day, but if they ain't showing that they love you, how can you perceive that as love if they not showing you that they love you, but they telling you every day, yo, I love you. But when it comes to you showing me and protecting me, where's the love at? So there's no
Yeah,
protection for the kids. There's no protection for the men. You know what I'm saying? And the boys. So we
yeah,
gotta
that,
we gotta protect ourselves. We gotta put our guards up. You know. So this
yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. It is. Yeah, and then I think this moving forward to where the state of black folks is it's gonna take a huge miracle for us to get back to the times where our um great parents um were at, as far as like the strong family structure, um because with the high rate of kids born out of wedlock, it would pretty much be impossible to like to fix the issue. So like, I mean, the love is not there, and I don't see, us moving forward like it's gonna get any better anytime soon. Like I said, it's just you just look at the numbers, you just look at uh the welfare, the amount of shootings amongst each other, and then also the wealth. Like I said, by the year 2050, I mean the wealth gap is going to be zero for us because we don't teach you know our kids financial literacy, and then that's the main point of helping us compete with other cultures. You see that in each other cultures. Like, shoot, they're thriving, but we're not. So um
Yeah, but because
it's gonna take.
that's because of how it's set up, man. I told you this yesterday. The how it's set up is set up for us to destroy each other. It's set up for us to kill each other. And instead of us, and like you said earlier, we are brainwashed. So instead of us looking at it and say, you know what, we're not gonna keep continue to do this. We're gonna do something different. We don't do that. And maybe they might have organizations and places that we don't know about, but it's not on mainstream media. It's not being broadcasted. It's not being highlighted. I still see murders at an astronomical rate of in my neighborhood that I came up in New York City, in
Oh
Chicago,
yeah, that's the
LA,
yep.
and even Florida, Miami. It's still people getting gunned down and killing each other at a crazy rate right now. And it's like,
We
what are
make
we
up
doing?
30%. Yeah, we make up
What
30%, and but we at the top of the list.
But what are we doing to trying to correct the situation? What are we doing to tackle these issues and making it a bigger issue to say, yo, we gotta protect our kids. We gotta get this out of the neighborhoods. We have all these celebrities and it's like you got all this money, you got resources, but what are we doing to protect the kids? And for me, the kids are I'm talking about not I'm not talking about the teenagers because once you get a teenager, some of these kids they don't listen, man. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like
they don't.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old when you at your most innocent at those age, right?
Yeah.
So these are the kids we gotta be heavily into and trying to mentor to try to change the direction of where they're going and because of their surroundings because that's all it is. They want to fit in and they see their brothers, they see their friends getting in gangs, they see their brothers and friends doing lean and taking drugs and selling drugs, so they want to do the same thing and the same cycle of us going to prison. And that's why we as black people, black men, we are at a high number when it comes down to prison. And some of it is unfair because some people get falsely arrested, but
Hmm.
these are the things that we got to tackle and that we got to look at instead of just looking at the government, which we know what it is with that. We instead of looking just at the police, there's bigger issues that we facing, man. They don't see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo,
Yeah.
we not even talking about it. That's the whole thing
Yeah.
that bugs me. Like, yeah, we know about the police brutality, we know about the government, the all of this. But what about all the stuff that's plaguing the communities. Why nobody's talking about that? I don't understand it.
Yeah, like I said, man, I just at the end of the day, I just hope that this message that me and you, this discussion that me and you are having, like, hopefully someone will, eventually come across your podcast and see that two black men are just having this conversation, just having this dialogue to try to get to the solution of the problem, because we want our community to do great. But like I said, with the higher numbers and the statistics and how we portray ourselves and how we treat ourselves, I don't think it's going to ever happen in our lifetime. Like in my lifetime, nor in your lifetime,
It's a
it's going to have to take an
possibility, brother. I could agree with that as a possibility. It's like pulling on some teeth, man. I see the fight firsthand because you've seen what I try to do with different things. I've tried to.
yeah,
I've been a person that walked it and not just talking. Put my money
yeah,
behind certain things. He's seen firsthand. So and it
yeah.
was
I was
it
there.
was
Yep.
it was tough, man. It was
Yeah, I
a lot
know.
of it was a lot of different things and a lot of negativity. And even just being an entrepreneur, I'm looking at it and a lot of people, including family, sometimes don't even support you, man. Like you could be
You're meant.
gifted in
Yeah.
you could be gifted and talented in certain things and they won't support you. But when you get some
Uh,
money, they'll be the
oh, that's
first
when
one
it's
to be like,
when
hey,
that.
let me
Yeah,
get some.
yeah.
Can you
Right.
give me
Like,
some?
oh. And that, and then that, and yeah, that's sad. It's sad
Very
because,
sad,
like,
man. Very sad.
because yeah, but like I said, man, I just enjoy this conversation that me and you have, because like I try to I try my best to have this conversation alone, but just it's rare to have a voice and to speak on issues like this, and in hopes of you get a large amount of people tuning in. But you don't get that. I mean, like I said, if it ain't no drama,
Man, if it
and
was
then
us
that,
fighting each other or me popping perks or me doing something crazy, then I
right,
get a million
right,
views, man. But yo, it is what it is, man. I know one day what everything that I'm doing with the poetry, with the art, one day my
mm,
message will get out there and people will gravitate towards uh the stuff that I'm doing. I just recorded like 5 tracks today too. Like I was in the zone today. I just sent my producer guy that we about to do this project that's coming out called the Love Files. Um I was on point today. Like the
like
confidence
you
is
have the
back.
energy,
I'm back. I'm
yeah, you have
back.
the energy,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So you're like,
yeah. It's sounding good, man. I'm gonna send it to you and
yeah, all right,
check it out.
yeah,
But
yeah, of course,
one day my message will get out there. One day people will understand, what I want to do. I mean, it may come through with the poetry and the art, it may come through with another avenue, who knows? But like you said, we just gotta do better. And
yeah,
we
we
only
do,
we only two men here. So we only can
yeah,
do what we can. So whoever
yeah,
wants to reach out or even do a panel, man, let's link up, man. My information will be in the description. Um, and hopefully, man, if anybody's going through anything with struggling mentally, man, listen, man, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out to us, man. Reach out to us
yeah,
and we can have a conversation like this. You could tell your story. We could go back and forth and have a conversation. And
yeah,
there's gonna be a
yeah, because
part two to this as well. We're gonna do this again. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but the conversation
Right.
went well, and we touched on
A lot of
the
key
thing,
parts. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of good
Yeah.
parts in the topics of the title, faith, loyalty, and love. But there will be a part two to this, and like I said, all the info is gonna be in the description. Reach out, man. If you're struggling mentally, it's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to pray, to vent. It's okay to question things. And life is not over, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Stay strong, man. Don't end your life. You know, um, just be strong, and if you need somebody to talk to, we're here. I want to do a panel of a group of us talking about these things of people talking about their life stories, and that's my
Yeah.
goal
That'll.
ultimately, to get everybody
Yeah.
together and to go around the room and we just having a huge conversation.
Yeah. That'll be dope, man. That definitely would be to be a great thing to do. Like just have just not only us talking, but more men that is dealing with mental health um and how they don't have a voice to no or no one to listen to. So I think this would be a great idea
And
to
now
have.
now they know that they got somebody to listen to over here. We will
Yeah, yeah,
we'll listen. You
yeah.
understand?
We'll listen.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
so whoever finds this, whoever checks this out, reach out. If you're going through anything, you're not alone, right? Stay strong,
Hmm.
stay positive. Until next time, we'll be back. Thanks, Bruce. There will be a
No
part two.
problem.
And I appreciate you coming on the platform. I appreciate this conversation. It was dope. Appreciate you opening up, telling your story as well. You didn't have to do
Right.
that, but I think ultimately you'll help somebody, and vice versa. Same here. Open up with some personal stuff as well to let people know that everybody goes through it, and that's what we got to talk about. We got to talk about the other side. Yes, finances, making money, being a six-figure guy is great, right?
Hmm.
But what happens when life hits you? What happens
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
going through different things?
Like, how can you
Things,
navigate from that? Yeah.
right? How can you navigate? And it's not all about women, man. Guys, stop trying to put everything into women. Stop trying to sleep around with as much women as you can. That's not gonna help you, man. That's not gonna
Hmm.
make you more of a man. You know, focus on different things. Focus on building yourself. Focus on, if you have a wife or if you have a family, building your family. Focus on changing the dynamics of your children, putting them in a better space, raising them, taking them away from social media, taking them away from all this negativity and all these trends that are people are following. That's corny stuff, right? Tell them,
Hmm.
Bruce, that's corny stuff, man.
It is, man. It is, man. It's corny for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have a social media myself, so
Yeah, I got off
yeah.
social media, even though me and my one of my peoples, man, we get into it all the time, saying, "Yo, you're a dope artist. You need social media. You gotta," because I have a bunch of artwork, and trying to get
I
out
think,
there.
yeah, I think you should use the platform just for that, just for your business purposes. But as far as personal, if you ain't got nothing going on, then you should be on social media just for because of that. Yeah, like if you're not running any type of business, then nah, I would never recommend anybody to be
Yeah,
on social
so
media.
social media is an illusion, man. Just like I feel
Mm.
like life. Just like
It,
it's like the Sims thing that I told you
yeah,
about yesterday, man. That
yep,
simulation.
yep.
It's
Hmm.
crazy.
That's where we live. Yeah, that's where we living in, bro. But yeah, man, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure to be part of your podcast, and man, let's do this again, man. Hopefully, we get a bigger panel than than what we had tonight.
Yeah, I
So,
gotta
but yeah, it
work
was
on it, man. When I put this
yeah,
out, we'll see the feedback. We'll see about
yeah,
what
yeah,
happens, what transpires from this. But appreciate you being on the platform. And this is missing
yeah.
conversation, where the conversation is missing. I'm true poet. It's my boy Bruce Noel, and we're out. Peace and love to everybody.
One
One love.
love.